Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Monday, March 21st, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Of course, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on TikTok and other social media by searching Larry Steinhouse. And you can also even find me on Truth Social by searching Larry Steinhouse. Just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. And real quick, I want to say hello to Michael and Joe and Joe. Joe and Joe. He said it twice. Anyway, don't forget, once again, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And by the way, if you're commenting from a group and not the Money Chat Now page, your name will not show up on my dashboard. So please go to the Money Chat Now page and comment there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. All right, on today's show, of course, we're going to be discussing the futures update. We're going to be discussing the famous laptop. We're going to be discussing Boeing and a crash today. We're going to be talking about medical debt and oil prices. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the futures. All right, so we ended up last week on a high note when the Dow rose 275 points. Even the NASDAQ was up 280 points. Wow, that's fantastic. The stock market was at its highest point since Valentine's Day, and right now it looks strong. It's up over 2,000 points since bottoming out on March 8th, and it looks like Wall Street has basically absorbed the data. There's no more surprises of war, no more surprises of interest rate hikes, and no more surprises with the scamdemic. It is clear that the only hope for the Democrats have to win the midterms is to give the country its constitutional freedom back. And that would be no more BS mandates. Oh, by the way, did anyone notice that Dr. Frodsky climbed out from under his rock last week to tell the American people his scheme isn't over yet? Yep. He said, be prepared for another round of new scamdemic. Heil Fauci. You've been warned by the devil himself. I've been telling you that travel stocks are to play into the year, and here is another sign. The dating app stocks are all moving higher as dating apps are recommending people get together and meet in person. Match moved up 7.5 points on Friday as people are embracing the idea. The travel stocks themselves have also been moving up, and I expect them to continue. Hey, look, if Gestapo Joe and his Nazis stay away from the mandates, they will all move higher again on April 18th when the latest round of "we don't care if masks don't work, but we want you to wear them anyway" ends. I will never know how this country allowed this to happen. It amazes me. But getting back to the market, FedEx dropped 4% on lower earnings, but it really wasn't terrible. I still think it's a great company that'll probably move forward into the future. With a small dividend and selling at just 12 times earnings, it's probably a good long-term buy and hold play. Also, in summary, consumer discretionary stocks gained more than 9% as the top-performing sector, followed by technology up about 7.8%. Energy was the only sector to decline, falling 3.6%. And this week we have some reports like unemployment report, pending home sales, and consumer sentiment. Nothing should be as a surprise as I said before. The market should do well. All right, let's take a quick look at the futures right now. The Dow is down 58, the S&P is up 2.5, and the NASDAQ is up 1 3/4. You know, it's pretty good because I was watching it all morning, and you know, it really hasn't moved much, but everything was down a little while ago. All right, hey, real quick, I want to say hello to Dan and Jose and Carrie and Pete. Thanks so much. I totally appreciate you guys watching. And let's get into, how could we not talk about the famous Hunter Biden laptop? You know, the ones that the Russians planted in the computer shop in Delaware. You know, the one that had fabricated correspondence emails from Russia, Ukraine, and other countries suggesting that Hunter and Joe Biden are receiving bribe money and other perks. Well, the New York Times says they've confirmed the laptop is real, and the contents of the laptop are also real. Oh, Come on now. As we all know, this can't possibly be true, because if it was, it would mean that the Biden family is a security risk and the Bidens have committed treason and a cover-up. If it was true, Joe and Hunter Biden would be in jail right now, so it can't be true. There was so much evidence that the laptop was indeed Hunter Biden's, and the evidence proved that it was indeed him who dropped it off at the repair shop in Delaware. They even have a signed receipt by Hunter Biden from when he dropped it off. I'm telling you, those Russians are brilliant. By the way, for some of you who don't know this story, Hunter Biden dropped off his laptop in a repair shop in Delaware. When he refused to pick it up or pay for it, it became the property of the owner of the shop. So when you drop something off and you don't pick it up, after a certain amount of time, your claim check says it becomes the property of the owner of the shop, who then released the data on the laptop to the news, and also, of course, Rudy Giuliani. And all the news outlets dismissed it as fake. Apparently, Trump had coordinated with Russia to plant this in a Delaware shop so that it could be used against Biden in the election. These are some of the things that, I gotta tell you, these are some of the things that they found on the alleged laptop. They can't see me roll my eyes on the radio, but of course I did, right? This is what was on the laptop. 103,000 text messages, 154,000 emails, more than 2,000 photos, and dozens of videos that belong to the president's son. This is a summary overview of what was found. And don't forget, Russia planted this because it can't be real, right? Number one, it was how he begged his father to run for president in 2019 to salvage Hunter's own reputation. How he repeatedly dodged police action against him despite continually dealing with drug pushers and prostitutes and having multiple run-ins with law enforcement. It also says that Hunter was guarded by Secret Service agents while on a 2018 drug and prostitute binge in Hollywood, despite not being entitled to any protection at the time and amid denials from federal agencies. It also has proof that Joe Biden was afraid that his text conversations with Hunter were being hacked, even as they discussed his White House bid, and Hunter's laptop is also brimming with evidence of apparent criminal activity by Hunter and his associates, including drug trafficking and prostitution. This is definitely not a problem for this. This is definitely not a problem for the son of a former vice president or current president, because of course it's all fake. It's all Russian, right? Nothing to see here. Move along. By the way, I'm seriously wondering why the New York Times is now reporting this. Are they being paid by the Russians? Is Trump getting ready to buy the New York Times? Or maybe just maybe, it's because it's all true. And someone decided to be a journalist instead of a paid propaganda machine for the Democrat Party. Well, if this laptop and all the evidence that's on it does not put Hunter Biden in jail and give reason for the President Poopy Pants to be impeached, we might have a bunch of criminals running Washington. Oh wait, I forgot. That's how Biden got appointed in the first place. But it looks like voter fraud evidence story is the only conspiracy theory left to prove now. But come on, how could that be possible for millions of voters? How could it be possible for millions of voters to have not voted for this brilliant president? I'm looking forward to see if anything happens to Biden or Hunter or the rest of the Bidens, whatever. They all belong in jail. And when it happens, the only problem is we're going to have Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi as president and vice president. Hey, did you guys ever watch House of Cards? The current real-life version is so much better. Let's talk a little bit about Boeing. So it looks like another Boeing 737 has crashed overnight in China. Look, Boeing is a company that's riddled with problems, especially the 737. The 737 is an airplane model that's been around, just so you guys know, since 1967. And Boeing has developed several versions of this airplane, 22 versions in all, including the latest 737 MAX. The 737 MAX was the highlight of several problems in 2019, causing it to be grounded for a year. The MAX apparently had onboard computer problems that led to at least 2 fatal crashes. There are apparently 480 737 MAX passenger aircraft in the sky, and Southwest Airlines has most of them in the sky. The current news feed is not saying which of the 737 models that crashed today. However, I did some research on China Airlines, and apparently they own 18 737 models, and as of yesterday, only one of the 737s was active. None of them were MAXes. The other 17 are parked or grounded. So there's only one is a 737, and it's a Model 800, and there are two versions of the 800. One is the MAX, and the other is not. Apparently, Boeing has built a total of 10,000 737 models. 706 of them have been the MAX model, and about 4 of them have not been delivered, possibly because of problems. Listen, the crash story is still developing, and I'm sure it will be in the news during the day. Boeing stock continues to be beat up as the ongoing problems with the Dreamliner and the 737 are wreaking havoc on the stock. Of course, my condolences to the family. It's horrible what happened. Look, a plane crash is always devastating. I'll also tell you that right now Boeing stock is down about 12 points, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about why I think this is a really great play. But let's take a break here, and we'll see you in a couple of seconds.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. And of course, if you're watching online, please hit that share button so I know you can. So I know you're watching, and I know you will be a fan of the show. You can also help your friends learn more about how to make more money by hitting that share button as well. Hit that like button. Let me know you enjoy the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them. Hey, real quick, I'm going to say hello to a few more people watching online. I don't know if I said hello to Dan. Hey, Dan, Jose, Carrie, Pete, and Moshe. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate you guys. And it also looks like we got John and Mick and Charles and Rob. Wow, a whole bunch of people. Thank you all. I totally appreciate you guys watching. Lewis. All right. By the way, I just keep thinking about I was thinking about last week about that whole thing about Alaska, about Russia wanting Alaska. I think it's absolutely hysterical what's going on with that. That just makes me laugh when I think about that. All right, let's talk about what we've been discussing so far. We've been discussing the futures, and the futures are down 52. The S&P is down 3.75, and the NASDAQ is down 7. We talked about Boeing, and we talked about a crash of a 737, and it looks to me like it's the only 737 that China Airlines is actually flying that crashed, and it's a 737-800, probably not a MAX. Coming up, we have medical debt on credit reports, and we also have oil prices, and then, of course, we have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you guys hit that share button yet? Come on now, hit that share button. I told you guys, if anybody hits that share button, they're going to get a free ticket to the coming up event on April 24th. If you hit the share button and you hit the most shares, so if you have the most shares coming up, I'm going to give you a free ticket to the Freedom and Finance event on April 24th. And if you want to find out more about that, go to www.4mmw.com, the number 4mmw.com. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure to set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home, and let me know what you think of the show. All right, let's get into the second half. Let's talk about medical debt. So one of the biggest problems Americans face, that is with their credit score anyway, is medical debt. Collection companies are relentless in trying to collect this debt from consumers, and many times they play the game of selling that debt for pennies on the dollar to another collection agency. These collection agencies often try to collect, and when they can't, they'll put a negative mark on the consumer's credit report, or of the patient or the person responsible for the patient's bill, such as a parent or guardian. The other problem with this is, even if you paid the debt to the collection agency, the derogatory remark on your credit report will still stay there. This happens basically for two reasons. So the collection agency would simply mark it paid in full, but still derogatory. And if the debt was sold to another collection agency, the former agency would still appear on the credit report as not paid, even though it was paid. Well, because of these irregularities and the problems they caused, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion said in a joint statement they're going to be removing nearly 70% of medical collection debt accounts from consumer credit reports after conducting months of research with this problem. So the changes are going to take effect this summer. Additionally, this is really nice too, starting the first half of 2023, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion will stop including medical debts in collections that are below $500 in credit reports. So think about this, right? That means all your doctor bills are now going to be $501 or more. No, probably not. This is great news, by the way, if they really are going to take off the ones that are below 500, especially for the average consumer who's been cheated by both the hospital and the collection agencies. Listen, this has happened to me, it's happened to you, you get this letter, so I'm going to give you some advice. All of you ever get a collection letter from anyone, if you get a collection letter from medical or anyone, I don't care if it's AT&T, I don't care if it's Verizon, I don't care if it's a hospital, I don't care if it's just anyone. Listen, always write back to the agency stating that you have no knowledge of the debt. Request all the contracts and paperwork you signed and an itemized bill of the debt. By law, they must provide you with this information or cancel all the collection actions. I've been a victim of this, and I've counseled victims of relentless collection agencies on how to make them go away. And the number one thing to do is always respond to the first collection letter that you receive. This is the easiest way to make them go away. If you miss this response, it just gets progressively harder, but you can still get it off your credit report. And I'm going to tell you, this new rule is a game changer, and I hope it helps those with severe credit problems. Now, if they would just remove, student debt reporting, it would be great in the land of credit reporting. Hey, don't forget, I mentioned it before, we have the Freedom in Finance event. We've also added, if you guys didn't know, we have Doug Mastriano as another keynote speaker. Doug's story is going to mesmerize you. He's a leading contender for the governor's race in Pennsylvania, and you'll want to be at this event to shake his hand and wish him luck. We're also going to be talking about how to buy houses with no money. We're also going to be talking about how to make more money. We're going to talk about how to become your own bank. This is just going to be an amazing event. We also have Bill Spadia from New Jersey, who's going to be coming. He's the #1 talk show host in New Jersey. He's going to be coming and talking about freedom. So we have both Mastriano and Spadia talking about freedom, and then we have so many other people talking about how to make more money. Let's talk a little bit about oil prices. So it seems that oil prices are rising again, only this time I'm skeptical as to the reason for the rise. I've often said that the news circulating around finances in the stock market is very manipulative, and the reports I'm reading about the reasons oil prices are rising have me a bit suspicious. Oil jumped this morning to a high of about 111, and it's still short, by the way, of the almost $130 a barrel about 2 weeks ago when the war started. And we know that U.S. has declared that they won't be buying oil from Russia during this confrontation. However, we've also discovered that only 7.9% of our oil comes from Russia anyway. So we saw oil prices drop last week to below 100. So what's going on? To me, you ready? It looks like another Dr. Fauci incident. No, not the real Dr. Fauci, but someone at the International Energy Agency is claiming we should all work from home and lower speed limits because the oil supply may run low. Yep, this is all about another fearmonger trying to become famous, or at least it looks that way to me. This announcement by the IEA is causing the fear that is making the oil prices going up. Here we go again. Would someone find these people and put a mask on them, please? Just put a mask on them, or maybe even a pillow over their face, a muzzle, anything that will shut these fearmongers up. So anyway, expect gas prices to push up slightly until the world realizes that this isn't a real problem. It's just a made-up problem so these people can maybe get rich or famous. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll see you in a minute.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling.
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor Schooling. Those guys are everywhere. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. And if you're using Hunter Biden's laptop, you could, of course, just go to investor schooling, but use DuckDuckGo because I don't want anybody to know that Hunter Biden was coming here. All right, so far we've been discussing, of course, the futures update, and the Dow is down 64, the S&P is up 2, and the Nasdaq is down 1. So it's kind of pretty lame right now. Nothing's really happening. Hey, we talked about the famous laptop, of course, and it has to be fake. This can't be real because, again, if this laptop was real, both Joe Biden and Hunter Biden would be in jail. Joe Biden would be impeached. So, it can't be real. So if you guys think that this is a real thing, it's not. The New York Times just figured they pick it up and say, hey, let's have some fun with it. It's definitely the Russians who created this laptop. It can't be real. We talked about Boeing, and we talked about a 737 crash in China Airlines. We talked about medical debt being removed from your credit, and, of course, oil prices. And now we've got coming up, we've got today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you guys hit that share button? Come on, let everybody know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information. And, of course, if you guys share it the most, the one who shares it the most gets a free ticket to the Freedom and Finances event. And, of course, you can leave comments on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about politics behind the stock market. All right. So as we discussed, it was a really great day on Friday. In fact, it was a great week last week. The market should continue upward for the next 6 to 8 weeks as we enter earnings season. Again, most of the bad news is already factored into the market, so it should be a good sign for now. Look, Boeing is going to see a drop today with the news of the crash this morning, and the real question is if the 737-800 was a max, but I don't think it was because I did my research, and it probably isn't based on everything I've seen. But if it is, then we may see the max grounded again, causing Boeing stock to drop further. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I think Boeing stock is the play today. It's absolutely the play. I would pick some up, especially, let me just take a quick look and see where it is right now. Right now, it's only down 11.5 points. It was down 16 points earlier. But, look, it's going to be a great play. I still see certain tech stocks as also great plays. Apple tops my list as a great play, and it keeps moving up. My next top play is Meta. Google and Amazon are also plays as they get closer to their split day. And once again, I suggest buying both or either on the dip. And again, as I said before, the airlines may take an initial hit. Both Southwest and American own the most active 737 jets. And look, by the way, did you guys ever get on a plane and realize, when you take out the emergency information card, and you're flying aboard a 737 and you go, uh-oh. We'll definitely see how this plays out today. However, I'm going to tell you, buy the airlines on any dip. And, of course, Boeing, once again, if it dips too much, I would definitely say if it's down 12, 13, 14, 10 points, definitely go for it. The oil stocks might also be a quick play as the media tries to manipulate the stock with articles like the one we discussed before the break. Currently, just so you know, the futures are sitting here right now. Right now, the Dow is down 60, the S&P is up 2 3/4, and the Nasdaq is down 1 1/4. So it's really nothing. All right, let's get into crypto real quick. So crypto is holding steady, and like I've been saying, Bitcoin is right around 41,000. Ether is right around 3,000. I'm still waiting for a bigger drop before I get in, and I would suggest the same for you. Hey, gold and silver usually move contrary to the stock market, and it looks like gold is around 19.25 and silver is about 25.5. So watch that. The Treasury bond, remember, we're going to be watching the Treasury bond because It's right now it's around 2.18. And as I've been saying, if it goes higher than 2.25, then NASDAQ will crash for the day when it happens. And when this happens, I would definitely look at Apple stock. Hey, real quick, did you guys order my new book yet? Go to barnesandnoble.com, look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse, pre-order it, and I promise you will learn something. Hey, and if you haven't been listening, my accountant even confirms that it's going to be tax deductible. So definitely buy the book and get a tax deduction. Hey, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. You can leave comments on both the WWDB fan page, and you can look for us online. Don't forget, my name is Larry Steinhouse. This is Money Chat Now. I'm also the CEO of Investor Schooling. And I want to let you guys know that this week at Investor Schooling, if you have not attended a complimentary class, this week I'm going to be talking about something that I don't often talk about. So I like to talk about tax savings. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about this Thursday is HSAs, health savings accounts, and how you can use your health savings account as an additional IRA. You'll be able to get the tax savings on your health savings account, and you'll be able to have that account grow tax deferred. But I also know a really great way to make it tax free. So if you guys come this Thursday, if you haven't been to a complimentary class yet, or if you're a student, come this Thursday, and I'm going to teach you about HSAs, and I'm going to teach you how to use them in ways that you didn't even know existed. And once again, look, if you have not gone to 4mmw.com and signed up for the Freedom and Finances event, you're going to miss out. This thing is going to be an amazing event. Listen, Doug Mastriano is going to probably be the governor, and you're going to be able to sit down next to the probable governor, take a picture with him, and say, look, I got a picture with the governor. I mean, that's just awesome, especially this guy. This guy will be a really good governor. There's no doubt in my mind. I love this guy. He's just a really great guy. To me, he's a superhero, and I'll talk about that some more at the event. But you'll definitely find out more about that if you attend, and you'll also find out more about how great of a guy this guy is, because it's amazing. There's just certain people I really like. All right, I also want to let you guys know that from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed on this show. The opinions discussed on this show are solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. I also look forward to, I just find that funny because a lot of people ask me not to discuss them. All right, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and make sure that you guys make it a profitable day. See you then.